So I think that one has to make a beginning, and as a corporate citizen, we think that this is our social responsibility to make sure that we spread this literacy, and that's why we've been investing in this. The cost of the book just covers about printing or distribution. So the objective of this book is not monetary or to make profit, but to make sure that we are able to spread financial literacy as much as possible. And we look forward to your cooperation, feedback and suggestions, which will help us to make this book and take such initiatives a lot more. We have taken a number of other financial literacy initiatives, and because this is one agenda which is so close to our heart, so me and Venkat are there addressing investors, meeting people, and trying to carry this torch of literacy and spread awareness. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jain. A big hand for him, everybody. Mr. R. Venkatraman, if you'd like to add something to what Mr. Jain said.
Good evening, friends, and thank you very much for joining us today. As Nirmal told, this is a part of our CSR initiative, and this is aimed at making more and more people aware about their aware about their financial rights and responsibilities. This book, we have a picture, they say, speaks 1,000 words, and we have put in easy to understand, in a fun way, in a cartoon, through a cartoon, the message. And this will make people, this method is to make people aware, and it's an easy to learn, easy to understand, and most of the time the cartoon reflects most of the problems faced by people like us, and these are pictorial representations of what we call as commonly faced issues. Coming to financial literacy, I think most of us live in a world in which we think this can't happen to us and this is somebody else's problem till the time it actually affects us. And many a time we realize that even taking a simple thing like writing a will in the right time solves a number of problems which, as Nirmal pointed out, the next generation faces. People make simple mistakes like most of us are very careful when it comes to our wallet. We try to protect our wallet very carefully, and then I make sure that nobody sees it or they keep it very carefully in the pocket. But things like checkbooks, they leave it on the table. We have seen many cases where people sign checks and keep blank check with office staff and with quote unquote friends and relatives. And when money is withdrawn, they go and make a noise and shout at the bank saying the bank has cheated. Whereas, if theoretically speaking, if somebody gives a signed check to a bank, the bank is obliged, it's its duty to honor the check. At least most people are very careful about blank checks, but they don't have the same responsibility when leaving blank demat slips, because a demat slip is also like a blank check, and if you leave it blank and sign, and a depository participant has no option but to honor it. So this book puts in a very simple way all these lessons. The other thing, when it comes to asset allocation, most people tend to come to the markets when the markets are at a peak. We had the maximum number of requests for equities when the market was at 21,000, when Reliance Power made its IPO in historical days of January 2008. And when the market came to 8,000 and 10,000 levels, nobody wanted to look at equities, and everybody thought that equities is dead. And history has a way of repeating itself. And now, in the last 1 week, when market has rallied 10-15%, more and more people are interested in equities. And I was talking to Mr. Kejriwal here, who's an expert on stock markets, and he'll also agree with me that 20,000 index, more people ask him about stock markets, whereas at 10,000, when it is time to buy, nobody will talk to him and they'll say, what are you doing writing? So these are things which I have tried to put in an easy to understand format, and hopefully people read it and derive benefits out of it. Thank you once again for joining us here today.
Thank you so much, Mr. Venkatraman. We now address any questions that the audience has. They can pose forward the questions. Anybody in the audience with questions regarding the book, regarding issues surrounding the book, you can feel free to pose your questions right now. Yes. Yes, ma'am.
For a common salaried person, okay, is there a simple formula wherein one can calculate that all this talk about investing and where to invest? How do I know that if I have the next 30 years where I'm gonna earn, And then with life expectancy at its best today, if I'm gonna live with another 40 years non-earning, how much corpus do I need at that time? So is there a formula to come through, that okay, this is the kind of money that I will need. So from day one, when I'm earning, I need to save on that.
In fact, many of us think of insurance as if we die suddenly or we live not long enough. But there's another risk of living longer. And supposing you live for 100 years and you stop earning at 60 years, how are you going to manage your remaining 40 years? And during our working lives, we are too busy to think about it. But there are products which can take care of this and without investing or worrying too much about it. So there are plans in life insurance where you pay one lump sum money and they will pay you annuity till you leave. Similarly, in mortgages, there's a reverse mortgage where you keep getting the income till you leave, and after you die, then the property goes to the person who has been giving you annuity. So what happens that we should now know that life expectancy has increased. We can't really depend on our children and grandchildren that when we are aging and when we are old and we are frail, they'll take care of us and they'll say that however much you live will be there with you. So supposing we live for 100 years, then what happens that, for instance, you invest in, say, LIC's product of annuity, you invest at 10-12 lakh rupees, and that will guarantee you 10,000 rupees per month forever. You have some more money a few years later, you can invest another 10 lakh rupees, and that annuity income will be there for you. So that is covering your risk of living too long, and you don't have to worry about it. So there are pension products which will take care of this, and there are multiple products like this. So that is one aspect of it. You talked about salaried person and the family, the planning, financial planning. See, every individual is different. And therefore, there are a number of software and the experts who are available to talk to you, sit with you, understand the family profile, the risk profile, and what your objectives are, and then look at your income and do the best planning. We can do a planning for somebody who is a household servant just earning 10,000 rupees, and there are celebrities. And there are a number of celebrities, including well-known ones, who get into deep financial crisis because in their prime age, they build a lifestyle which has a lot of expenditure, and once they get out of fashion or out of their starhood, and then they suddenly get into debt and trouble. And similar thing happens to the person who is the lowest in the rung. He's got 10,000 rupees, he doesn't budget, he doesn't know what is he buying, he gets his bonus, he doesn't save it. So I think these are problems which are pertinent to all of us. Every individual has a different solution. Of course, there are standard solutions of different categories, but one needs to sit with every individual and work it out.
Anybody else with questions in the audience? Yes.
One very, very simple question. I buy this book. So do I become smart enough to make money? Don't take this question from me, but people have been asking that this campaign has been running. So if I buy the book, am I smart enough from tomorrow? Instead of reading 5 minutes a day, I read the whole book 5 times in say a month. Am I smart enough?
Yeah. See, this will be one of the steps. What it will do is it will only improve your odds, because there is no guarantee in this. Even if Sachin Tendulkar is playing or anybody else, he may hit a century, he may get out for a duck. But at least it increases your probability and odds of success, of making money, and more importantly, of not losing money. So I think if you really go through the book, the greater focus is on not fall prey to Ponzi schemes or get into things which can make you suffer losses or lose opportunities which are obvious. But obviously also the book also tries to teach you that there is no way to make quick buck or easy money, and anybody who tries that is actually a surer way of losing money. So you protect your money, let it grow slowly. That's the best way. So this is one area of life where turtle wins.